Quem é a Vanessa? Eu sei que não querias responder essa pergunta,
queria,
mas
é
a regra da casa. Nós sempre começamos assim, falar-nos um pouco, de uma forma bem resumida, da tua história.
É que essa pergunta é muito clichê. Quem é a Vanessa, estás a ver?
Okay, so, what do you do for a living?
Okay, I'll give you... You are speaking in English.
You know what, let's just do it in English.
Let's just do it in English, okay. Ask me the question. You introduce yourself in Portuguese, though.
It's whatever.
Okay. Basically, who am I? My name is Vanessa. I'm Mozambican, and I am currently working in 2 different fields. One is content creation on UGC aspect, and the other one is fitness. I'm a personal trainer as well. I wouldn't say that I do more of one or the other because both of them I do like 50-50, if I would say. But yeah, content creation and fitness, that's basically the fields that I work in.
Okay, I've been watching your content for a while now, for like 3 years. When did you start content creation?
The thing is, my personal social media accounts, I don't take it as serious. As I said, I do UGC, which is something that I don't post on my social media. I work directly with brands. But like in general, I wouldn't say that I have a starting point on my socials because I don't really take it that serious on my personal account, right? But I would say I've been having TikTok at least for like 3 years. Yeah, 4 to 3 years.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
So you I'm sure you serve as motivation for a lot of people in your field, for a lot of...
Hopefully.
Yeah, you do. For a lot of the girls out there that love your content, have seen your progress, the daily consistency with the gym, with the workouts, with the routine, everything you post and all. But let's go back to the beginning. When and why did you start gym in the first place?
I started the gym when I was 14. The reason why I started was basically because of bullying. Like, I wouldn't say that I was heavily bullied, but it was just, first things first, it was something I was very uncomfortable with. I was very skinny. And then it got to a point that it was pointed out at school, like how skinny I was. And I had colleagues that would make like jokes about it. I know they didn't mean any harm. Like, it was not on a harmful way, but it affected me a little bit. So in a sense, I took that and I started going to the gym. At the time, it was only YouTube. There was no TikTok and none of those things. So I just did a bunch of random stuff in the beginning. And therefore, it took me now, I've been in the gym for 8 years now. It took me a while for me to actually see results because in the beginning, I actually didn't know I can't cuss, ne?
No.
I can't say
I
can't say bad words.
No.
Okay, I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning, so therefore it took me a while to actually figure it out.
Okay. Bullying is a very strong word, you know.
Yeah.
So who was your bully? Like,
Capra, if you are seeing this, we friends now, but if he's seeing this, he was my bully when I was in, I think, 8th grade. Yeah, now we cool, but at the time he was very mean to me. He used to say things like, I have a boy's body, and all of those things. It kind of affected me at the time, but like looking back at it today, like we laugh about it. But Caprazinho Jr., he's the person who used to bully me. But we cool though. We cool now.
She's pointing it out straight now. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're cool now.
Like grade 8. 14 years old, that's really early to like go to the gym. I started gym early as well, but I think I was like in grade 10 or something.
But you started everything early, so I don't think that really...
That's true. That's true.
Right?
But starting at 14, how was it like first of all at the gym, you know, I'm pretty sure there were not a lot of 14-year-old girls out there at the gym, and that was back in Mars.
Yeah.
At that time, now it's a bit more regular to see 14, 15 year olds going to the gym. But back then, I don't think that was the case. So what was it like first at the gym, and then second of all, with like your friends and family, telling them I'm going to the gym regularly, consistently.
For you to understand, my mom at the time, I was like, my mom, I really want to go to the gym because there was a nearby gym. And I was like, please just go there and like get the info, like, and she came back and she was like, they don't accept kids. Like, you can't go to the gym or whatever. She was lying. She never went there. And then,
Parents.
And then one day I was just passing by. I don't know what the hell was. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I was doing. And then I went by the gym and I asked, and they said like, yeah, it's not an issue. I think the minimum it was 12 or 14. Actually, I don't remember exactly. Yeah. So I went back. I said, Mom, you lied to me. And she was like, okay, so you can go. I went there. There was not many 14. There was none, actually. There was none. It was a very rough gym. Like 5 kgs felt like 15 kgs. Like it was, them rusty ones. Yeah, that was the case. But yeah, it was it was not like, I see how a lot of people nowadays get anxiety by going to the gym. And at the time, the gym was very empty. There was not a lot of people. There was only like the owner of the gym and like 2 other people. So it was chill to start off at that gym specifically at that time. Yeah.
All right. That's cool. And to see your progress, I've seen one of your pictures of like, you keep posting sometimes, before the gym and after the gym. And I gotta say, I can see why you were bullied.
That's so mean, though.
I can see why.
That's so mean.
I'm sorry,
but
but
what he's saying. That's really mean.
I'm being honest. I'm being real. I see why she was bullied, but then I also see the huge difference now, and I'm pretty sure, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the same bullies are probably now like. Have you guys seen Vanessa's social media? Let's start there. If you haven't seen Vanessa's social media, just go to her Insta.
What's going on
go
there
to her
that
TikTok.
I don't know?
Her Insta mostly. She just gives this LA model vibes. Like, like she's been on Netflix. Like,
let's not go there. I don't know how to take compliments.
Too hot to handle kind of girl,
No.
Hollywood and all. But the progress is seen. Not only did she improve physically, but I can see also mentally, intellectually. So what part of that personal growth has to do with like the gym also? How much do you think going to the gym affected everything else you would do in your life?
I would say, since, as I'm saying, I've been in the gym for 8 years, and in the beginning it was something not as conscious. It was, I'm just going to the gym or whatever. So nowadays I see how when you start, I know that when you start going to the gym, you feel a lot of differences mentally, physically, like you feel more energized, all of those things. But because the gym is something that I've been doing for a really long time, I don't remember feeling that. I don't remember feeling those things when you start going to the gym, right? But I would say, what was your question?
How does like going to the gym impact your other parts of life?
Yeah, as I was saying, I would say that the gym specifically taught me discipline, right? Because a lot of times, let's say I have a busy schedule throughout the day, I have to wake up. I have to think, okay, I have to wake up 2 hours earlier to go to the gym to have my meal. So in a way, it helps me be more organized with everything that I do. And it also helps me, to show up even when I don't feel like showing up. So let's say it goes back to work. I don't really feel like, because I work from home, I don't really feel like working today. So my input on my work affects directly my monthly income, right? It's the same thing with the gym. Me not showing up, it will directly show through my progress, right? So in a sense, the gym taught me how to show up even when I don't feel like showing up, even if it's to just put minimum effort, but I know that, okay, I still went. So I would say maybe on that sense.
And it also teaches you, I think, like the importance of working out is that it teaches you discipline and consistency.
Yeah.
And you definitely have to apply that in everything else you do.
True.
Especially if you want to like do business and all. If you're not disciplined, if you're not consistent, if you don't go on regularly doing the stuff that you know you need to do, the progress will be definitely reduced. But going off to the next question, dealing with gym pain is might be difficult for some people, you know,
Dealing with?
like gym pain, like recovery and all.
Yeah.
So what's your usual like recovery process? How do you recover from the gym pain? And what's your like weekly routine? Do you go to the gym like every day? Do you take breaks? How far? How long? How many days?
Okay, talking about recovery, first things first, something that people sometimes when starting out at the gym, which a lot of people might think it's easy it's an information that everyone has. You have to schedule your weekly routine based on what kind of workout you're doing. Meaning, if you are doing hypertrophy training, you need at least 48 hours to recover those muscles.
Sorry, if you're doing what?
Hypertrophy training.
What's that?
I think it's what you do at the gym specifically, like growing muscles. You have resistance training, you have hypertrophy training, and then you have strength training. I mean, there's other smaller sections in it, but like as a whole thing, you have those three types of working out. So resistance training usually is lower weights and more reps. So your recovery time, it can be anywhere from 24 hours to 48-ish. Hypertrophy training minimum is 48 hours in those muscles, meaning if you worked out your legs today for hypertrophy training, which is what I usually do, I cannot go and do legs again tomorrow, right? I need to give my legs 48-hour recovery. And besides that, which I think that goes beyond said, also your nutrition is very important. Eat your proteins, have your carbohydrates are very important to muscle recovery as well. And hydration, also have rest. I think that goes beyond said as well. Have at least somewhere between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. What else? I think there's more things, stretches, like really work on your flexibility, something that a lot of people that work out really don't do, myself included, is something that I really struggle with sometimes with keeping consistency in that. But it's really important when you start stretching and working on your flexibility because you have healthier muscles. Okay, that in a sense, if you're doing hypertrophy and you want to grow, in a sense, it's not that it will stop your growth, but it doesn't keep your muscles as pumped, right? Because you're keeping those muscles flexible. So in a sense, they won't look as pumped. That's why a lot of bodybuilders, they don't actually do flexibility training. But it is very important, yeah.
Okay. You have a lot of tattoos. I mean, how many tattoos do you have?
Don't ask me about this.
How many
I
tattoos
want to
do you
remove
have?
all of them.
Remove.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. Do your tattoos
I think
usually
so.
have? I have one tattoo. Just one.
I've seen it, yeah.
I love it. What?
Destined for greatness.
Yeah. That's just my...
I mean, that's something that, you probably look at it and keeps you motivated or whatever. Mine don't really have much I have 7.
7. This one says, can I touch?
Don't try to understand all of them.
She's art. What does that mean?
Don't try to understand. There's no meaning.
So
I just
saw it on Pinterest and you're like, let me do it.
Not really. What happened with the first one, I was 14 actually.
14?
I was 14, yeah. Me and my friend, we were bored and we were like, you know what? She was older than me. She could do tattoos at the time. And we were like, you know what? Let's go get a tattoo or whatever. And we just went to get a tattoo and it looked horrible. Like I decided on what I would do.
Which one was the first one?
It's one that I have on my waist, right? Because my mom couldn't see it. So I was like, where can I put it that my mom won't see it? But she found out on the first day. So then I didn't like that one. So I got something on top of it to cover it up that I also want to remove now. So yeah, that's the story with the first one. And then it was a guy that I know. And he was like, I can give you like, I think 4 tattoos or whatever. And I was like, okay, let me think of stuff. I just thought of stuff that I tried to make meaning. I tried to give meaning to the things, but it ended up not having meaning. For instance, the butterfly is like the meaning of my name.
Okay. Four.
Don't ask me about these things. I'm removing all of them.
Yeah.
They're gonna get removed.
You're removing your tattoos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just need to find a place that I actually, know that
Do
it
you
won't.
regret doing tattoos?
Yeah, 100%.
Do you think that like impacts your professional life?
Not really, because I don't really believe, at least on what I work with, it doesn't really affect me at all. It's just like for myself, like I don't find them visually appealing anymore on myself. I like people with tattoos or whatever. Like people look cool with tattoos. It's just these ones that I got, I don't really identify with them anymore. Yeah.
I think when we get a tattoo, it's usually because of the feeling, the rush in the moment to get them. You
I
get
think we
so
just
excited.
want to, be like, yeah, I'm a rebel.
Yeah, let me do it. And then
Yeah.
after a while, it's like you just look at it. It's just not the same,
Yeah, exactly. It was a phase. And this goes back to my mom always tells me these things and I never listen to her, but she always ends up being right. Everything in my life, my mom always warned me about it. And I'm like, oh, mom, you, whatever, whatever. And she's always right. So once again, my mom was right.
Okay, going back to the gym.
Yes.
What advice? Okay, first of all, you said you started working out at 14.
Yeah.
And then when do you start the actual content? Like when do you start making videos, recording, and posting them, and why?
Thing is,
Because most of your content is gym, if not all.
I think it was like 4 years ago or whatever, because why? I don't even know. My thing with Instagram is, for some reason, back in the days, I used to post like a normal person on Instagram. For some reason, I got a lot of people liking my stuff and following me or whatever at the time, right?
For some reason.
But I didn't, like, it was never a thing of, okay, let me work on this or whatever and grow my following, right? So then I think when I started being more consistent with the gym and actually figuring things out, as I said, it took me a while to actually figure what works for me. And I posted something about it, and a lot of people were like, what do you do and all of those things. And I just decided to create a separate account. No, was it that? No, I started creating on TikTok. Yeah, that was it. I was one of those people. I don't know if you had this. When TikTok came about and everyone was like, there were people who was really into it and there were people who used to judge TikTok a lot.
I used to judge TikTok a lot.
Same.
Especially the dancers. I mean, I still judge them.
I don't judge anyone. But at the time, I used to be like, you guys have TikTok, that's so lame or whatever. And then, yeah, I'm here now. I used to really criticize TikTok. But then it took me a while to actually be on TikTok, like 1 or 2 years since it was a thing, which I wish I should have listened to the people who were already using back in the days in the beginning. So yeah, it started as a thing of people actually wanting to know, and I started posting more about it. That's it.
Okay. Speaking about TikTok and social media, do you think social media is a good thing or a bad thing, like in today's age, like social media in general, phones and all?
I actually saw a meme yesterday. It was about if social media, like all social media, like had a time to end, like let's say 7 p.m., you can't access any social media. Like you have to, like there's no social media from 7 p.m. until let's say 7 a.m. I actually thought about that. I think there's a lot of good things about social media, like bringing awareness to a lot of things happening in the world that before we didn't have. And I think it's a really good way to actually, me, I want to know how to do an exercise. I just go there and I go through TikTok instead of even going to YouTube or Google. It's like my search engine now. Don't you do that? Like you go and yeah. So I just go on TikTok and I search it up, like, whatever I want to do. So I think in a way it has a lot of good things to it. We just misuse it. Like we end up revolving all of like everything that we do on, let's say, TikTok. I go on TikTok and I see an 18-year-old, me, I'm a millionaire or whatever. I'm like, eesh, me, I'm not doing anything. So I start panicking, even though I may be doing good, right? Seeing someone that's younger than me or whatever, someone that's the same age or even older, showing different realities or doing better from what we think, it makes us feel like we're not doing enough. It gives her, and also because we spend a lot of time, and scientifically has been proven that you scrolling a lot of time, it gives you a dopamine kick on your brain that then when you're doing like normal things on your day-to-day thing, like you want to go for a walk, you want to just hang out with your friend, it doesn't give you the same dopamine that it gives you scrolling on your phone. So I think with moderation and with understanding that not everything that we see there is the reality, it is a good thing. We just misuse it. Yeah.
I think we really misuse it, but not just that. I think the problem with social media and just technology in general is like social media and technology is there to ease our life, like to make our life easier in
Yeah.
every possible aspect you can think of. But we get too attached to it. Like I think we have so many iPad kids growing up right now. Like
Yeah.
you remove a pen, a pencil, a book from a kid, he'll probably will be like, he doesn't mind.
Yeah.
Remove his phone or his iPad, the
Yeah.
kid starts crying. And we grow up like that, so attached to this thing, this device, that we can't separate ourselves from it. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the problem starts. Like when you're so into TikTok, Instagram, and all the other apps that you forget that there is life outside that. Which brings me to another point that happens because of this, that is comparison. We're always comparing our lives with other people's lives.
Yeah.
And I realized that, let's take you for example. There's someone out there that might go into your profile. Let's say girls. Some people go to your profiles and like they're really motivated to be like you, to work hard on themselves, on their body, skin, everything, to be more like Vanessa. But there might be someone, a girl out there who goes into Instagram, TikTok, sees you, and instead of getting the motivation, she feels like less.
Don't do that.
She starts like comparing yourself to you and to other people, and like
Yeah.
all they see is the highlights. All they see is the pictures that are there. They don't know
Yeah.
the backstory, what got you to that point, or what's even like your day-to-day life, your real life, like what's everything that is really real about you. Like they just see what you're posting on social media, and it's the same with my content as well. They just see me as this young man,
Yeah.
living large, always traveling, whatever, and they don't know the backstory
Of it. Yeah.
of it. And a lot of people may take that and get the motivation to work to get to where we are. On the other hand, people might compare themselves to you, to me, to us, and feel less.
Yeah.
Feel like, why is he so perfect? Why is she so perfect? Her life seems perfect. She's beautiful, she's gorgeous, she has a perfect body, a perfect smile. His life is doing great. He seems like he's doing good, and then there's me. So what advice do you have, or like what do you have to say for these people who are watching the podcast and now have a chance of knowing the real you?
What I have to say, just like everyone else, because I am everyone else too. I also have times of going through social media and actually seeing someone that supposedly has their stuff together, figured.
You wanted to curse, didn't you?
That has their life figured out or whatever. And I also compare myself a lot of times. So I think, in a sense, just like those people sometimes might watch my stuff and be like, oh, she has all figured out. I don't, right? There's days that I don't really feel like, it's been a while that don't really feel like, oh, I want to go to the gym. Like, oh, like it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of consistency for me to be at the point that I am today, right? And even at the point that I am today, it's not perfect. Even after years of working out, there's days that I miss meals. There's days that I don't really feel like going and cooking and doing all these things. There's days that I don't skip the gym, but I don't really feel like going to the gym. So I think in a sense, it's just understanding that everyone that you see on the screen is actually real people that has their own struggles as well. They just sometimes have maybe a smaller or bigger platform, like, but we all the same people. We all living the same lives. Some people have some stuff more. I wouldn't say they have more in general. They have some stuff more than others, but we all in a sense, living the same lives, I think.
Okay. Um, there's a moment where you were really consistent with posting.
Yeah, I tried.
And then out of nowhere, I loved seeing her on my For You page. And then I started seeing her less and less and less. And before I even noticed or realized, Vanessa's just gone. She just, she has vanished from all social media platforms. And then I think was beginning of this year, not beginning, I think like around May or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I just see this post on Instagram. I had even forgotten about her existence. Like literally, I forgot I ever saw Vanessa. I ever followed her. I ever had her almost every day on my For You page. Forgot I had a crush on her. And then I just see this boom. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at them like that.
I'm looking at them.
I just see this boom, a post of her on Instagram. I'm like I was so mesmerized. I think I sent that post for like 5 different people. Like, oh my god, look who's back. So what was with that? Why did you like go ghost out of the
I do that
out
a
of nowhere?
lot. I do that a
Do
lot.
that a lot, but
I
this
do.
time it was
No, it's been a longer time. I've done it for a longer time. So I think it just happens that maybe you followed me after
oh,
I
okay.
vanished the last time, right? But it's something that really, it's not a thing of like, "Eesh, I'm doing this challenge of being 1 year without social media." Like it just happens naturally for me because I really do not gravitate towards social media. I do not. I try because, as I said, I work in fitness. So, in a sense, a lot of my clients come from there.
From there.
And also with user generated content, which is what I do, I also need to have social media for that. But I just don't like, I had a lot on my plate in real life. Like I was finishing my course, I was finishing my driver's license that it took me 2 years to finish. I have a house to actually clean, cook, wash the dishes, eat. I have the gym for myself and I also have clients. So in a sense, it was just a lot going on that I didn't really have the time for myself. So on top of that, I couldn't even go home and actually say that I will be consistent with posting. So I would say that's basically the reason why.
I do that sometimes, but when I usually do that, it's because I don't know, my mind is just on a different space. I'm not in the mood to like consume or produce content.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our second topic, going out of gym and all, which is mental health. So
Tell
I
me.
should have started with this question actually in the beginning of the podcast. Okay,
You
let's
started
do it.
with who's Vanessa.
That was
So I
awkward,
think
isn't
it,
it?
I think it makes sense.
All right. So,
Mm.
how are you doing?
Don't ask me like that. I'm doing fine.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Do you want me to elaborate or you
Yeah.
want to ask something after me saying that
No,
I'm doing fine?
I want you to elaborate. Like, how are you doing? How's
Um,
life now?
Life is great. I can't really complain. Lately I've been more on the mindset of, not really want to control things that are actually out of my control. And as cliche as this sounds, there's times that we think that, life is so tough and all these things, but you end up figuring things out or just being more okay with not having control over everything. So I'm at that stage where things are not exactly how I want them to be, but I know that eventually they will align. So I'm not really worried about that. So just trying my best to focus on what's happening right now. Of course, I strategize on how I want certain things to go, whether it's on business, whether it's on my personal life. But I don't really, if they don't go on how I'm envisioning them to go in that moment, I'm okay with that as well.
You said business.
Yeah.
Forgot to ask you this question. You talked about business, user generated content and all. So to the people who don't really know much about, what you do, that
Yeah.
don't know you on a personal level, what do you do for living?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people, it's not even people who know me on a personal level. A lot of people don't know this because I don't show this on my social media because I don't have to. But basically, user generated content is like, let's say you're the brand of this water bottle, right? So you contact me and you say, Vanessa, I need 10 videos, 10 organic videos. Organic content is just things that you post. Like when you're posting organically, you don't pay anything for those videos to reach more people. So you want 5 organic videos from this and you want 2 ads to promote your product. So I'm the person who does that content to brands. When you go to, let's say, even if it's a restaurant, even if it's an agency or even a clothing brand, there's creators that create that content that's there. So that's what I do basically. I reach out to brands, or brands a lot of times reach out to me, and I create content for them.
When did you start this business and why?
I started this one. I was in a side hustle type of thing back in 2020. Like I literally tried every side hustles that you can possibly imagine. I've tried drop shipping, I've tried print on demand, affiliate marketing, like anything and everything. I've tried it. So at the time, I saw something about UGC, and all of these things were not sticking, right? So I was trying all these things, and I was like, oh gosh, like it's not working or whatever. And I was also, and my thing is, I try a lot of things at the same time, so I don't really focus on one thing. And in the middle of all those things happening, I tried UGC, and at the time, I pitched a brand, and no brand wanted to work with me. Literally, no one would reply, no one would do anything. And then one day, a random brand of a phone app was like, "Hey, Vanessa, we would like to work with you for 2 videos for 60 euros." And at the time I was like, 2 videos for 60 euros, oh, that's amazing, like let's go. So I told him that it was my first brand working with, and he was very patient, and he, in a sense, I took that as a sign. So, try this harder, because I was actually once again giving up on that as well. I tried everything. I gave up on all of these other side hustles. So I was like, okay, let me actually see this through. And after working with that brand, it was very tough. Like, he made me redo those videos like 10 times because it was just not coming out nice. And yeah, after that, I was like, let me actually try this thing for real, for real. It was what motivated me to actually keep going with that. And eventually, yeah, it's been like 2 years, I think, that I've been doing UGC. And yeah, I can't really complain.
Wow. The more you talk. Okay, anyways, going back to what we were talking about. Okay, mental health. Yeah. You said you're doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure, just like every teenager, there was a point in time where you were like, you hit rock bottom. We all do hit rock bottom at some point. So has there ever been a time where you were like not okay mentally, like being depressed? I know that these days, like, teenagers are dealing a lot with like mental health problems, depression, anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a real thing,
Yeah.
So did you ever go through an episode, and then why? What happened? Tell us the story behind that.
Okay, bear with me if I sound a little bit jokey about this, because when it comes to sensitive topics, I can't be serious, so I end up just making jokes about it. But I had 2 stages, right? Mm-hmm. First, it was the teenage stage, like 15, 14-ish, that, I had like a side part on my face, like, all of them gothic stuff going on, listening to Lana Del Rey all the time. Like, she was actually my favorite singer.
She was?
She still is, I think. I was in her concert a while ago. Yeah. So, I had that stage of like thinking. I don't know if I was thinking or if I actually was. I don't know. But it felt like depression or something going on. That, you don't want to talk to anyone. You go to your room, you lock your room, and like that type of vibe, right? So I was into those things, right? And then eventually my dad passed away. So when that happened, I was like, you know what? There's like deeper stuff in life that you have to, I was worried about random stuff. Like I was depressed, but I didn't really know what it was happening with me, because if I had to think about it, like I had my mom, I had my dad, I had school, I had, food, all these things. So actually when that happened, it was like a wake up call. And from that point, actually, instead of me actually being depressed because my dad passed away, it actually lifted me up, meaning that there's more for you to actually worry about. There's more for you to be happy about, like enjoy time with your mom. So yeah, then I wouldn't say depressed. I don't like to label it as depression. But when I say hit rock bottom, it was when my first year here in Portugal, that I didn't even realize my mental state was getting to that point. I just found myself in that situation. After a while, at the time I was in a relationship and I was starting out college here, and college here in Portugal kicked my ass. And I couldn't really deal with all those changes. At the time, my relationship wasn't going well. It was very draining, and college as well was very, very tough on me. So without noticing, I got to a mental state that my body started to react. So I got really sick at the time. I didn't know that it was from stress or anything like that. I went to multiple doctors here in Portugal. They couldn't really figure out what was going on because my body started getting wounds, like open wounds. My body was filled with open wounds, my face, everything. And it was not getting better. Any doctor would prescribe me stuff, nothing would work. And then I went to Moz. First day that I got there, the doctor said, this is from stress. And I started taking care of it with medicine and stuff. And eventually I got better really quick. So I wouldn't say, because I didn't realize that my mental state was so bad. But I wouldn't say that I was depressed. I would say that I hit rock bottom, yes. But once again, that was also a wake-up call for me to be like, you know what, don't stress about things that you cannot control. Yeah.
Not stressing about things you cannot control is it's a nice way to view life, because you just talked about like a very sensitive topic and sensitive part of your life, but you talk about it like normally.
Yeah, lightly.
And I'm pretty sure it hasn't always been like that.
It has.
It has.
It
Even
has.
like when your dad passed away.
Yeah, the moment that my dad passed away, I was not sad. I was not sad. It was something that I understood at the time, and I knew it was coming. I don't even know. I have a thing. When things happen, bad things happen, my mind deletes things. I cannot tell you. I think I was 15? Something like that, 15, 16.
So that was after starting gym and all.
Yeah, I had started the gym already. So yeah, I these things, when very bad things happen to me, I just kind of delete it, and I try to take the lesson out of it. So when I'm going through it, I might not talk about it, let's say, because prior to my dad passing away, he was very sick. So at the time that he was sick, I might as well, maybe I didn't talk about it openly, but the point that he passed away and gave me that click, like it was something that I used to talk about very lightly. It was never a sensitive topic as per se. Yeah.
So then there's someone out there watching this that might be going through the same thing, and they might take it like differently. Because I know a lot of people who, like, sometimes we just choose to be depressed, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think it depends on, how you view life and your personality and all. But sometimes we actually make things deeper than what they are.
Yeah,
so
that's
for
true.
someone going through whatever, maybe a breakup, losing someone, grieving, someone who's just sad, and not just like normal sadness, like deep down, taking antidepressants, doing therapy and all of that. Because there's a lot of teenagers now going into that trap of depression. What advice do you have for them?
Honestly, unfortunately, there's nothing I can say that will make that person feel better. Because as someone that also had bad moments, like there was nothing that anyone would tell me that I would be like, okay, now I'm feeling better. There was nothing. So what I can say is just, things are not that deep a lot of times. I know there are people who are in very bad situations that are deep, but don't believe everything your mind is telling you, because today I might think of a situation in a certain way, in a perspective, and in 2 weeks I see it in a completely different perspective. So don't believe everything your mind tells you. I don't know, there's nothing really I can say that will make the person feel better, but we all go through it. It comes from you, it comes within you, for you to actually say that, okay, I've had enough. Let me actually make active changes, because you might not feel better, but every day just try to make like one thing that you are actively trying to be better. Or meaning, there's times that I know if I don't pay attention, I will stay in the house for 2 weeks, just going to the gym and coming back, right? So because I know that I get into that state, and that might end up getting me very sad and unmotivated. I just try every time I have to work, just go sit down at a garden instead of rotting in bed. Instead of working at home, go work at a coffee. Like instead of waking up and going through your phone, like go shower, have your breakfast, and then go through your phone. So every day, just try to make one different habit that it will actually make you feel better, and eventually you will get there.
So basically, your advice is like develop healthy habits,
Yeah.
and maybe we can also change those words into just get out of your comfort zone, kind of.
Maybe because when I say getting out of your comfort zone, sometimes it's actually doing more than what I'm saying. And when you're depressed, you don't really have the
Energy.
energy to get out of your comfort zone. That's why I say like do small things, like the smallest thing that you can possibly imagine that it will make you feel better. Sometimes you don't even have the energy to clean your room when you're not feeling okay, right? So I wouldn't say go all the way out. Go and just, I don't know, go stare at the sea.
I think starting to make big changes, you need to start with small changes.
Small, exactly.
Cleaning your room is a very perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Because I think most of the times the state of your room reflects a lot on
On
how
your-
you're actually
yeah,
doing inside.
true.
Most of the times when your mind is messed up, your room is usually like the worst chaotic
Yeah,
scenario
yeah,
you can
yeah.
possibly think of. So look at the bigger picture, but before you head there, start with the small wins.
Mm-hmm.
Go out, clean your room, organize yourself. I think when we clean our room, there's always that sense of, oh my God, I finally did it.
Yeah.
That it's like slowly amounts to bigger things. You start
Yeah.
going out, okay, I clean my room. What can I do next? I can study. I can go out. I can go for a walk, go for a run. I can go to the gym. Or maybe I can talk to someone. Maybe I can call that person who makes me feel better. So small wins end up amounting to big things. And I think that's
Yeah.
a huge step towards taking care of your mental health and just developing yourself, starting small with the small little details that actually amount to something big.
Yeah.
We're talking about our mental health, and without stealing your spotlight, I think you said something about, it's not really a thing that you said, but the whole talk reminded me of something I always keep saying this to most people, which is that I don't think I might, be wrong, but I don't think depression is a real thing. I think the state of being depressed is real, but the way we view depression these days is something that has no cure, this sickness that consumes us, and once you're stuck in there, there's no way to get out. And I think part of the reason we do that is what you said. We like, most of the times it's not that deep. We just make it deeper than it actually is. So the same way you can be sad for no reason, you can just switch that.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
can be
yeah.
sad for no reason, you can just click and be happy for no reason. So I think we should start viewing depression as not something, this big monster that comes and just puts us down there, leaving us with no voice, no way of getting out of, but accept it as a part of life. Sadness is just as important as happiness. Like we cannot live the highest of the highest without experiencing the lowest of the lows.
Yeah, of course.
We know that life is made of highs and high moments, down moments, and denying that is denying life. Like denying the fact that one day you will go through pain, you will go through suffering, is denying life. If we just live for the happy moments, for the good moments, we will live a miserable life, because we're not supposed to be happy all the time. We're not going to do happy all the time. And part of the success mindset is pushing through those moments where we're not feeling happy, where we're not comfortable, where we're not okay, but we know that, you know what, I still need to get the job done. I still need to get this done. So how is it like in the gym and in your personal life as well, when you don't feel like doing whatever it is that you have to do, but you have to do it anyways?
At the gym, there's something that I've made up my mind about, because a lot of times that we don't want to go to the gym is actually thinking, oh,
It's not there.
a lot of times for me is like you think, okay, I have to go and sweat and carry all these heavy weights. I don't really feel like doing that. So what I do with the gym is like, The days that I don't feel like going, I just go and I try to do the lightest workout ever with exercises that I just feel like doing in that moment, even if it's the easiest thing. Sometimes throughout the workout, you even get the motivation to go harder, and sometimes you don't, and it's okay. At least you went and you know that you were active that day, and that's what counts.
Yeah, and something else as well. I think, like I said, I don't think depression is real, but I think the state of being depressed or being sad is real. And most of the times when you're feeling sad or depressed, that's just your body, your mind, your spirit, or the universe telling you that you need to change. I think when you're going down a bad route or bad path, the universe finds its way of letting you be aware that you're doing something wrong. And when the depression period comes, that's your sign to go, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not feeling okay? Why is my body, my mind, my heart telling me that something is wrong? It's because there is something wrong. And when that depression comes, I think I saw this quote, when God wants to make someone great, he often isolates the man or the woman. So usually I see those periods of sadness or depression as a moment of isolating yourself, getting closer to yourself, getting closer to God, and just listening to the voice inside. Sometimes God really needs to separate us from the crowd so that he can give us a different direction from where the crowd is actually directed. So take that period to develop your mind, your body, your soul. And I promise you, if you isolate yourself, if you work, not just isolating yourself, but isolating and working on yourself and on your mind, your body, your mindset, your well-being, you will come out of that stage as a whole different person. You will emerge as someone different, someone better. And yeah, I think that's the best thing that you can do when you're feeling sad. Just work on yourself, log in, grind. You'll come out of that dark tunnel as and see the light and just become someone completely different. We're coming towards the end of our podcast, and we've touched some very deep, sensitive topics, interesting as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to break the ice a bit. Dun-dun-dun. We've talked about a lot of stuff, but the question that I have, and most people have, seeing this amazing, beautiful, success-oriented young women. Did I say beautiful, gorgeous? Yes, all of that. Are you single?
No.
No.
Shout out to my boyfriend.
Damn, I think my heart just broke for a second, but okay. This is a very weird question, but you know, it's also like a very good question. What's the secret to being in a long-lasting relationship to make it last?
I would say more than anything, which is something that I actually actively work on my relationship, is not just communication, as a lot of people say, is actually comprehension. So let's say I might want to communicate all out. I'm saying all these things, but if the person doesn't want to comprehend what I'm saying, there's no point, right? So comprehension is the main thing about this whole situation. And yeah, I would say comprehension will get you guys all the way.
How far do you think that the relationships, not just with your boyfriend, but family, friends, or whatsoever, how much do you think it helps you in your like other stuff? How much do you think the weight of relationships influence you, like the support and all?
In a sense, I would say specifically with my relationship, my boyfriend has an amazing work ethic, right? So, in a sense, when it comes to work or even my motivation, there's days that I don't really feel like getting out of bed, but he's already waking up 7 a.m., done breakfast, let's go to the gym type of thing, right? And there's days that he doesn't feel like going, and I'm there, and I'm like, let's go, let's push it, and all these things. And in a sense, being next to someone that has an amazing work ethic, it gives you the drive to push harder. So I would say being surrounded by people, and also my mom. My mom is a very hardworking person, right? So being around these people that actually strive to do more and always push hard and always want more for themselves, it helps me a lot on wanting more for myself.
Do you believe in like emotional support? Like, not like that, but I mean like do you think it's good? It's a good thing to depend on someone else's
No, 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 no,
support
no, no, no,
emotionally?
no. Jesus, no. No, 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 no. Don't do that to yourself. I believe that it's good to you that it's good that you know that you have it there. I'm not very big on actually going to people to help me out with my personal stuff. It's something that I'm working on, but it's good for you to know in the back of my mind. At the end of the day, I always know that my mom will be there. I always know that my boyfriend will be there. I always know that my best friend will be there. So knowing it only, it's already enough for me. There's people that actually rely more on it, but I don't think it's ideal for you to rely fully on people's emotional support because you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's not a good. We always know how that ends.
Yeah.
You talked about college when you were referring to how, you started going to college and felt a bit depressed and whatsoever. I have a question. What's your major? Do you have a major? Like, did you?
I didn't finish it.
Because you're into fitness, so
I was doing business management. I didn't finish it. I stopped on my third year.
third year.
Yes, due to medical reasons, as I said, like my body was actually getting very, very sick from the stress. So I'm not saying that I won't go back to it because it's a course that helped me on a lot of things that I use today on my business. So I would like to finish it, but for that time being, I couldn't finish it.
Do you think you're ever going back to college?
I would go to finish my degree, but that's about it because I was on the third year already.
What did you pursue professional wise after
After
dropping
that,
out?
it was the course of personal training.
How far is that taking you?
The course is done.
No, I mean, like, do you think it was a wise choice?
Yeah, it was a very wise choice because it's something that I'm very passionate about, meaning that I'm a person that when I don't feel passionate about things, I don't have the drive to do them. So it automatically makes me push harder when I'm doing my work nowadays. Like working with fitness is literally something that I wake up and I strive to do. I strive to go with my clients. I strive to be on a call with my clients and help people out and help people push more and actually change how they perceive themselves. So yeah, I think it was a very, very wise choice, at least for me.
This is like an endless debate, but when it comes to like professional wise, do you think what's the best choice someone can do? Play it safe and go for the safe way, it's a safe profession, or just play all cards, risk it all, and go for what you love?
I think it depends on a case to case scenario because it can, I mean, it depends on the person. I'm not the right person to give you guys this advice. I have friends that after I dropped out, wanting to drop out as well, whatever. And I always say, and if you can, always do it because if I didn't get sick, I would still be doing my degree and I would finish it and then go after something that I like. So I think it's on a case to case scenario.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting podcast. Last question. It's a very controversial question.
Don't put me on the spot like that.
I'm glad I left it as the last question. I didn't even leave it as a last question. I just thought about it now because I think if we talked about this, it would take like a whole another hour to a podcast. But
Okay.
you mentioned something like, please don't cancel me for this, by the way, about how the things you do when you were outside of like when you were outside social media. One of the things you mentioned was taking care of the house,
Yeah.
cleaning,
Oh, I already know where this
and all
is
that
going.
stuff. So, as a woman, what do you think is the role of a woman in not in a man's life, but what do you think is the role of a woman and a man when together in a relationship? Do you think that like men and women are equal? They have equal roles, equal parts to play, or they're special but in separate ways.
To start off, biologically, women and men are different and there's reasons to it. But I am a strong believer because I am a very, I wouldn't say masculine person, but I'm a very independent woman in terms of I do my own things. Like I don't really need a man to actually lead me or all these things that is said out there. But I believe that it goes by relationship to relationship. If it works for a relationship for a woman to be more masculine and do more masculine stuff and men be more feminine, like that's up to them. If it works for them, it works for them. I myself have been in different dynamics with different relationships. So I don't think there's per se, I don't think there's a specific role like women should do this, women should do that. I can say what's my preference, right? But I cannot say what I think is the right thing to do.
What is your preference?
My preference is I believe in, I have certain roles that I like for a man to do. So let's say, as I said, a lot of times I'm a very masculine person in terms of I don't really ask men for help. So I like a man that sometimes takes the role to, come up and help me with things. Sometimes, let's say we're going on a trip, I don't have to use my brain when I'm around you. You already plan things out or whatever. And I don't mind as well sometimes planning trips. I'm a very diverse person. It depends. I don't mind cooking almost every day for you. But if I don't feel like cooking, I'm not expecting for you to expect for me to cook as well. So, yeah, I think it's a...
Would you ever be a stay-at-home wife?
Never. Never,
Why?
ever in my life. Because, and I don't judge who does it. If it works for you, it works. Because I won't find joy on my day-to-day thing. Okay, you with your kids or whatever, that should be joy enough for some people. But I want to feel, I'm doing things. I'm upping up levels. Like I'm going to work. I just achieved a new goal and all these things. And at the end of the day, if my husband cheats on me, what am I supposed to do with myself?
Okay.
So
Fair
gotta
enough.
play it safe.
Gotta play it safe.
Yeah.
I think that's most women. I won't say all. I don't like to generalize neither men or women, but most women are like that in terms of they like the man to lead the way and sort of take over. Like most girls, when I take, okay, this is going to sound so wrong, but like when I take girls on a date, they usually want me to just plan everything. Like they don't want to feel like, not because they can't, but they would be more comfortable in a position where they don't have to use their brains when they're around their man. It just gives them a sense of, I can rely on him, I can find comfort in him, and whatsoever. Whew. Well, that was great. We're coming now towards
The end.
the final end this time. Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure having you here in this podcast. This is like the second episode of Portugal edition. So you're like our second guest here in Portugal. I've been quite lazy to do episodes, but I think now with Vanessa here, she's given some part of her energy to me, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep on pushing and
You
keep
just
on.
said this is the last episode.
No, I didn't say that.
You did.
When I was on live.
Yeah.
Well, I was joking with them. I like to
Okay.
joke with my fans and all. But this is also uma regra da casa, it's something that we usually do. I know I just spoke Portuguese, just ignore that. So to finish off the podcast, we put you on the spotlight and we just let you address the beautiful fans. So to everyone watching you who is inspired by you, or maybe not even inspired, but like acknowledges how far you've come, acknowledges your content, and has come to the end of this like 1 hour podcast, which is a lot. Thank you, by the way, for everyone who has reached the end of this podcast. What do you have to say to them, man or woman, anyone that's part of your fan base or just knows you? What advice do you have, especially for the ones who want to pursue what you're pursuing in life?
I'm not the best spokesperson, so I don't like to be put on the spot like that. But what I can say is, always try to be 1% better every day. I know you guys probably saw this phrase on Instagram already or on TikTok. But if there's something that stuck with me and it helped me a lot, and I really hope it helps someone out there, because sometimes we're really hard on ourselves and we think we're not doing good, but when in reality we're doing great. What I would say is actually try to do your best every day. And I posted this on my Instagram the other day. So try to do your best every day. But also understand that your best will look different every day. So don't expect to be as good as you were yesterday. But as a long-term thing, you will see all of the days that you actually pushed, all of the days that you showed up. You'll have results from that. So yeah, that's all I can say to you guys. You are loved. You are appreciated. And yeah, that's it. My hands look so big. Don't post that. Wait, what are you doing?
I'm sending it to someone asking me what I'm doing.
Okay, my
We're
hands
still in
look
our podcast. So thank you for everyone who has watched this podcast. I'm a bit lost, as you can tell, because look at her. I mean, damn.
No.
We would all be lost.
No.
This is not me shooting my shot, by the way. I'm just like this. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was beautiful. This was lovely.
No, sorry. We need to take a picture.